Thank you so much for joining us here today, and welcome to the 2022 Mastodon Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony. For those of you who I haven't had the chance to meet before, my name is John Nolan, and I have the privilege of calling the play-by-play for Purdue Fort Wayne Athletics on ESPN+, like last night's exciting men's basketball Horizon League victory, and coming up later today, women's basketball over at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Obviously, I got into broadcasting because my own athletic career peaked around middle school. I was good in 6th grade, then everyone else hit puberty, and I didn't quite catch up. So I actually shaved for the first time this morning, with this being a special event. So needless to say, though, it's a privilege and honor for me to be associated with an Athletics Hall of Fame event like we have here today, and in general, to be a part of the Mastodon family. So I thank everyone involved here in the athletics department and the university for the chance to be with you all here today. And maybe one day I'll make that CYO Basketball Hall of Fame ballot. And it really is great to have a room full of familiar faces here today, and thanks especially to those who've come from a distance to join us after we couldn't have an event like this last year. And it goes without saying how arduous these last couple of years have been. But it's only been possible to navigate through these tough times and still have the Mastodons competing in athletics thanks to our healthcare heroes. And so before we celebrate our Hall of Famers here today, would like to thank all of the healthcare heroes in our community, and especially our friends from the Lutheran Health Network and OPS. So let's give them a big round of applause. For me, every time I have the chance to put on a headset and call a game, I truly marvel at the caliber of student athletes that we have here at Purdue Fort Wayne. Their athleticism and intensity is one thing, but their ability to package that with academic excellence, being volunteers in the community, and other intangibles like leadership, it's really awe-inspiring. And better yet, everyone I've come across here at Purdue Fort Wayne is also friendly and high character, so it makes my job easier to be able to share their amazing stories and not even have to embellish just a bit. And if you didn't know, only 2% of all high school student athletes in the United States go on to compete at the NCAA Division I level. 2%. And here in this room, we have the less than 1% of the hundreds to thousands of Mastodon athletes over the decades who've gone on to achieve supreme success like no other. Here today, even as this Hall of Fame grows with 7 more members, it's still only about 7 dozen athletes, coaches, teams, and contributors who've ever reached this summit. And of course, I do use that word intentionally, as so many members of this year's class were part of the formative years of Mastodon athletics at the Division I level in the Summit League, or leading up to that. And so now, here today, in the Horizon League and Purdue Fort Wayne athletics positioned better than ever before, it's only been made possible thanks to, in some cases, the sacrifices and certainly the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into achieving their success. And we've seen this on full display here during a really busy homecoming week, highlighted by 6 sporting events and culminating really with this ceremony here today. I think it's been fitting that the theme for this year's homecoming is Live the Legacy, because this year's Hall of Fame class certainly left their legacy. With thunderous footsteps, these inductees bring recognition, acclaim, and pride to Purdue Fort Wayne. Their record of sportsmanship and lifestyle of integrity also make them role models for current and future Mastodon student athletes. And we'll get to hear from each of them in just a bit. But before that, at this time, it's a pleasure to introduce the captain who steers the ship here, Purdue Fort Wayne's Director of Athletics, Kelly Hartley-Hutton.
Steering the ship. Clearly, you did not get my driving record. Yeah, there was a time when I had to have the graduate assistant drive me to recruiting events. But those days are behind us, thank goodness. Thank you, John, for being here today. As he said, the voice of the Mastodons, our TV broadcaster for basketball, and also the broadcaster of the Tin Caps. So just a pro and a friend in every way. Thanks, John. On behalf of Purdue Fort Wayne University, welcome to the 2002 Mastodon Hall of Fame. First, a very warm welcome to the 5 inductees who are with us today and their families. Amanda, CJ, Kristall, Amy, and Brad. We're on a first name basis. Would you stand up, please? On behalf of Mastodon Athletics, welcome home. Thank you. Thank you for traveling here. Thank you for your families being here today and allowing us to celebrate with you your significant accomplishments and contributions to Mastodon Athletics. Two inductees, Courtney Cronin and Christina Martinez, could not make it today, but they did videos of their acceptance speeches, so we look forward to those too. I'd also like to welcome, where is she? Kim Wagner, the Chief of Staff for the University, the Chancellor's Office. Thank you for being here, Kim. And current members of the Hall of Fame. I see 5 or 6 of you out there. Thank you for joining us today. Also, thank you to the search committee. You know who you are. Thank you for getting it right, and you did, and those meaningful conversations leading up to today, and the research. The many hours of research I know that Derek Sloboda, our Assistant AD for Media Services, provides, so that committee's ready to do their work. Thank you all. And another special guest we have here, Tommy Bell, former Director of Athletics. We were talking, former from 2007 to 2013. I think I have that right. I also had it right that 6 out of the 7 today were on your watch, so that's something. He was really excited when we made that announcement of this year's class and drove up from Bloomington yesterday to be here today. So pretty special. Thank you, Tommy. I also want to recognize some of our coaches who are here today, head coaches, some of the hardest working and definitely caring people I know. Sitting in the back, just like church, head coach, baseball coach, Doug Schreiber. I think I saw, where to go, yep, head men's volleyball coach, Ryan Perrott. Couple nice wins this weekend, coach. And I thought I saw Steve Florio, maybe not. Nope, that was yesterday. It's all blurring together, homecoming weekend. Oh yeah, he has recruits in today, but he wanted to be here. He's on the committee. And then we also had with us today head women's basketball coach, Maria Marcasano. Her young team plays at 2 o'clock today, so we have time to go over there, cheer for the Dons, and then I hear there's a football game later too, so still time for that. So with that, welcome to our campus, welcome to this beautiful facility, and back to the pro, John.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Well, let's get to it. And in the leadoff spot, we recognize a softball start. I'm sure as we all woke up this morning and brushed the snow off of our cars with the temperature feeling like single digits, we thought, yes, it's spring sports season. It's arrived. Well, softball actually is in action this weekend down in Alabama. A lot of energy right now for the Mastodon softball program with first-year head coach Amber Bowman and her group. And thankfully for them, they've got something to aspire to thanks to Courtney Cronin from the class of 2012. Hailing from British Columbia in Western Canada, Courtney was a game changer both in the circle as a pitcher and as a batter at the plate. As only a sophomore, she won the 2010 Summit League Pitcher of the Year award and also led the Dons to a pair of second-place finishes in the Summit League regular season. She paced the Dons to the program's best-ever record in 2012 at 45-14, and that included 17 wins in league play. Courtney's accolades were numerous, including 8 times as Pitcher of the Week in the Summit League, 4 All-League honors, even a couple of academic all-district first-team selections, and, for good measure, 1 Offensive Player of the Week award. So combined between her pitching and her hitting, she was a 9-time Player of the Week, and that stands as the second most weekly honors in Summit League history. On top of that, her 63 career wins rank 8th most in Summit League history, while her 1.81 career ERA is top 15 in Summit League history. And for extra measure at the plate, she finished 5th in Mastodon's program history with 98 RBIs and also 6th in home runs with 21. Fortunately, due to a family obligation, Courtney isn't able to be with us here today, but like Kelly said, she has shared a video message.
Hello everyone. I'd like to first start out by congratulating all the members of this Hall of Fame class and thank the Hall of Fame committee for nominating me. When I saw the athletes I was being inducted with, it was such an incredible honor. A lot of us were on campus around the same years, and you guys were the greats. So to even be considered amongst this talented group is very humbling. A little backstory on me: I grew up in British Columbia, Canada, playing for an organization called Surrey Storm. I started pitching in the 3rd grade. The team I was playing on didn't have enough pitchers, so the coach made us all try and practice, and he thought I had potential. My parents signed me up for lessons the following week, and I guess you could say the rest is history. They probably didn't know at the time that pitching would require another 10 years of private lessons, but my dad jumped all in, buying all the pitching tools and setting up a mound in our backyard. I'd like to thank my pitching coach growing up, Kim Wright. I wouldn't have been the player I was without her. In high school, my club team started traveling frequently to the U.S. for tournaments, mostly in Washington State, nowhere near Indiana. We were introduced a little bit to the recruiting process, but in Canada, you just don't have the exposure to U.S. college coaches like you do here. I was very fortunate that Roger Boyley, a Canadian club coach of my IPFW teammates Christina Karpin and Rachel Staschuk, told Coach Keith Fisher about me. Christina and Rachel were at IPFW playing for Coach Fisher my senior year of high school. It all happened so quick. I sent in a short video of me pitching and I signed my letter of intent all within a few weeks. A huge thank you to Roger Boyley, Christina, and Rachel for advocating for me. When I look back, it seems kind of crazy. I came to IPFW sight unseen. I had never been to Indiana, let alone the Midwest. When I came for my freshman orientation in August, that was my first time ever being in Indiana. I laugh because I don't know if now in my adult life I could commit to moving somewhere for 4 years by word of mouth. But my parents and I knew I would get an excellent education, and I felt comfort knowing a few Canadians I grew up playing softball against were already on the team. It was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. Within the first few weeks on campus, I knew IPFW was a wonderful fit for me. My teammates and coaching staff were also welcoming. I'd like to thank Coach Fisher for taking a chance on me and giving me the opportunity to represent IPFW. He made me feel like I mattered as a player and a person, and he showed he cared not only when he coached me, but the years after his retirement. I am forever grateful for him, Coach Dennis Smith, and Coach Bruce Finke. I'd also like to thank my teammates. As a pitcher, I was tagged with the wins and losses, but none of this success is possible without my teammates. Every year I was fortunate to be a part of great pitching staffs, and then how lucky was I to have another Hall of Famer, Christina Karpin, as my catcher. We had such hardworking teams, and I'm grateful for the lifelong friendships I've made. Getting to watch my teammates succeed in their careers, get married, become moms, it's really special. I still feel like I'm cheering them on, just in a different capacity. A couple years ago, I was asked by the softball program what being a Mastodon meant to me. I thought about it for a few days, and I just kept going back to the people. It takes a village, and there are so many people to thank. Thank you to my academic advisors, Chris Kusner and Leslie Clark, the many athletic trainers I had, and strength coach Kevin Rodolfi. To my husband, Adam, it's pretty special that you got to watch me play and be a part of that stage of my life. I don't think he ever missed a game. Not sure the umpires liked that. Thank you for being one of my biggest fans and encouragers. I'm excited to experience this with you and our girls. While writing this speech, I started to get a bit emotional thinking about my girls, Olivia and Elise. Playing at IPFW was a huge part of my life and something that has shaped who I am today, so getting to connect my past with my present is really special. I know today they would both say, "Mommy played softball," but I can't wait to bring them down memory lane in the future. My wish for them is they find a passion and that they always know they can do whatever they put their minds to. Last but not least, my parents. From the day I started playing softball, they always supported me. So many days spent at the ball field and training facilities. They worked tirelessly so I could go to lessons and play club softball. Being a parent myself now, I see it must not have been easy letting me pursue my education and dreams so far away from home, and I'm so thankful my mom and dad encouraged me to do so. They were the perfect balance, keeping everything in perspective. Whether I won or lost, they were always encouraging. Again, congratulations to everyone today, and last but not least, go Dons.
Thanks again to Courtney for sharing that message with us, and incredible. She has a couple of daughters already, so Amber's already got a couple of early offers out as she grows her future recruiting classes. We referenced earlier that women's basketball will be in action on campus today at 2 o'clock against Youngstown State in Horizon League play. And this has really been an exciting season for the Dons, like Kelly said, with Coach Maria Marquesano, Fort Wayne native, at the helm now. And this season there have been a lot of first since moments, and most of those trace back to circa 2010, 2014, and that's thanks largely to our next inductee, Amanda Hyde Barryentos. Amanda was a two-time Summit League Player of the Year in both 2013 and 14. She has the top 4 single-game scoring performances in the D1 era for the Dons, including a high of 43 points against Southern Illinois in 2012. That 43-point outing also ranks top 5 in Summit League history. For her career, Amanda finished 4th in program history in scoring with 1,676 points, and 670 of those came during her senior year. That's the 3rd most in a single season in school history. A guard forward from Findlay, Ohio, Amanda is also 2nd in the record book in free throw percentage at 86%. She's 3rd in made free throws, 4th in assists, and top 10 as well in field goal percentage and steals. Meanwhile, as she majored in math, she was an academic All-America 2nd team as a junior and then 1st team as a senior. Amanda was even the IAAA Athletic Directors Association Female Scholar Athlete of the Year in 2013 and 14, putting her in truly rare company. Amanda is now married, has a beautiful growing family, and she's with us here today. Let's hear it for one of the all-time greats on the basketball court for the Mastodons, and now a Hall of Famer, Amanda Hyde Barryentos.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Sorry if I sound nervous. I want to start by saying we'll see if I can get through that. How humbled and honored I am to be standing up here in front of you. It truly means so much that you would show up today to support myself and the other inductees. I also want to give a huge congratulations to the 6 other inductees on their outstanding careers and all of their accomplishments. Some of you may notice that I am definitely slightly rounder shape than I was back in my playing days. God has blessed my husband and I with our 2nd little boy, who should be making his arrival in about a month, and we could not be more excited. Our other little guy, Lucas, is here today, so if you hear somebody causing a ruckus, that is probably him. Say hi, buddy. I really don't enjoy talking about myself and my athletic accomplishments. Even during my playing career, I usually let my game do the talking. My oldest brother, Nathan, was an awesome basketball player. He played at the University of Findlay, where his sophomore year, they won the Division II National Championship. Now that's somebody who likes to talk. That guy can run his mouth and trash talk with the best of them. Growing up, he would encourage me to develop a little bit of that, get a little bit of swagger, as he liked to call it, and I just never really had it in me. That being said, there are quite a few people that I would like to give recognition to today in regards to my career. I'll try to keep it short, but I definitely appreciate you bearing with me. As I started preparing for this speech and reflecting on my time as a Mastodon, I started to feel a little guilty, to be honest. Guilty that I'm standing up here alone receiving recognition when so many individuals have been a part of my success story. I obviously don't have time to name everyone, but to every teammate, coach, teacher, administrator, trainer, and manager who has ever supported, encouraged, or motivated me, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I know that I wouldn't have seen the success that I had in my career without your unselfish actions. Basketball is a team sport, and I believe that individual awards are a reflection of that. I do have some specific individuals and groups that I do need to mention, though. I had many coaches during my collegiate career, but Coach Paul was a constant. He believed in me from the very beginning and saw the type of player I could become even before I did. In my sophomore year, he really started to encourage and almost insist that I become a leader of the team, even though I wasn't quite ready for it. Although I resisted at the time, I know now that that encouragement pushed me out of my comfort zone and ultimately resulted in me becoming a better player. I also need to thank my teammates that I had during my 4 years. Thank you for pushing me to be better in practice, for helping me to navigate life as a Division I athlete, and most importantly, for your friendship. Very few times when I think about my career do I focus on specific games or wins and losses. The memories that are most vivid to me revolve around the relationships created during our time off the court. Next, I need to thank my family. For those that don't know, I was born in Fort Wayne, and a majority of my family still lives in the area. There's quite a few here, actually. That meant that I could always count on at least one family member, usually more, being at any given home game. During my career, all 4 of my grandparents were regular attendees at home games. At the time, I knew I was very fortunate. Sorry. Okay, I'll get there. But it wasn't until I graduated and got a little bit older did I truly appreciate how blessed I was and how lucky I am to have those memories to share with them. To my parents, no amount of thanks would ever be enough for the support that you have shown me my whole life, in basketball and everything else. When I think about my parents and their impact on my career, the first word I think of is sacrifice. I thought as an athlete that I knew what sacrifice meant. Now that I have a child, I realize that I had no clue back then what real sacrifice was, and even today I'm only just scratching the surface of it. My parents sacrificed time, finances, everything to support my career. Every summer weekend spent in hotels and gyms for AAU tournaments, driving 2 hours one way for AAU practice, all throughout middle and high school, and countless hours in the gym with my dad, where he would come straight from work and rebound for me in his business casual attire. Their sacrifice means a lot, but their unwavering support, love, and encouragement means even more. My 2 older brothers also played a large part in my success. From an early age, I learned I was going to have to work hard to keep up, and this eventually led to a very competitive mindset. We spent countless hours in the driveway playing ball, and I know the abuse I endured during those games created a foundation of toughness that enabled me to handle the physicality of collegiate basketball. Yeah. I also need to thank my husband, Damien. Damien attended Ohio State during my career, which is about a 3.5-hour drive from Fort Wayne. With games and practices, I rarely had free weekends, so Damien gave up many of his to come visit and watch me play. He has celebrated my successes, shared in my losses, and truly has been a foundation for me to lean on since our senior year of high school. Lastly, to my Heavenly Father, I give all the praise and adoration I have. He has blessed my life in so many ways, and I know that every success I have is a direct gift from Him. I want to wrap up by saying thank you to Purdue Fort Wayne for not only providing me with a basketball career, but an education. My 4 years spent there prepared me for life after, and I will forever be grateful to the university and every individual there who shared a part in my journey. Thank you, and I will blame it on the pregnancy hormones.
Really well put, Amanda. Thanks. And as Kevin Durant once said, moms are the real MVP. So add that to the Summit League Player of the Year awards. Well, as Kelly alluded to before, right now, not only in the heart of basketball season, but also men's volleyball season. And this weekend, head coach Ryan Rockparat's team with a couple of wins to start off MIVA play. Now 8-4 on the season, and really 4-0 since they got the roster to full strength. So really exciting to see the program on the rise and striving to get back to where our next inductee led them. CJ Macias from the class of 2008 helped lead the Dons to a pair of NCAA Final Four appearances. In his Dons career under now fellow Hall of Famer Coach Arnie Ball, CJ averaged better than 5 points per set. That's the best in program history during the rally scoring era. He was an All-American second-team selection in 2006 and 2007 as the Dons won a pair of MIVA tournament titles and finished third and second in the entire country. CJ was also a 3-time first-team All-MIVA honoree, and he ranked 6th in Dons history in career kills and service aces. His 600-plus kills in 2006 are the most by a Mastodon in a single season. He earned 3 MIVA Player of the Week honors too, and even 1 National Player of the Week accolade. Originally from South Florida, he now lives in Hawaii, and he's a professional surfer, and what better testament to his dedication to Purdue Fort Wayne than venturing out here in February with snow on the ground, and also coming out despite a recent injury, which I understand is not related to any overuse during his playing career with volleyball swings. But let's give it up for next Hall of Famer, C.J. Macias.
Pleasure to meet you yesterday, Amanda, and to hear you speak. I really vibe with you. I also am a bit nervous in this moment, and I also haven't always received all the praise and glory that comes from these athletics and everything that the career has happened. So to be here in this moment, to fly here, yes, I did fly here from Hawaii. I left Friday morning. I got here yesterday at 6 a.m. and came here just to be here and relish in this and to visit, spend quality time with people that mean so much to me and have impacted my life in so much. So really just want to say a few things, and thank you is the big first one. It's thanks to volleyball and athletics, and again, just all the coaches, all of the supporters, all the managers, people who design athletic programs, who make it possible for kids to be able to play sports and who look after us, all that stuff. And then into here in Fort Wayne, here at IPFW, and just what I've learned here that has impacted my life in so many ways. And I realized that most recently in this incident that's mentioned, where I was surfing in Nazaré, Portugal, and I found myself on a wave that was literally like 6 stories tall, 60 feet tall, and I put myself in that position. I chose to be in that position. It's a position that I've dreamed about a lot and that I have put a lot of effort into preparing myself for and creating that situation. And I learned a lot of those skills here while I was here at IPFW. And on the top of this wave, about to drop in down this thing, and it was just me and the world and nature, and I bombed down this wave. I gave it my all the training I had put in, and it was the ride of a lifetime. And then I got absolutely swallowed by this massive wave, and this ride of a lifetime turned into a really dreadful situation really quickly, and I was underwater with no control over when my next breath would be, no control over what my body's doing, and just starting to reflect on life in that moment and how I put myself in that situation. And I was very fortunate that through it all, through this wave and the next one and coming up and seeing my arm noodling around, ended up dislocating my elbow. It's healing. I'm going to be okay. And going through the whole ordeal, it took me like 5 or 6 minutes to wash all the way to the beach. And one of the times underwater, being ripped around all over the place and just focusing on not breathing in water so I don't drown, basically. It's the training, right? In those moments, only our training and what we've practiced is what saves us. So on that, I was reflecting, and my arm was hurting really bad, and I also knew that I was okay. I knew that my spine was intact. I knew that like I was all right in that moment, that I wasn't going to pass out, and I started thinking about all the people that were there watching, worrying about me and caring for me, and all the people that made it possible. Once again, all these things, these endeavors where, it turns out to be this individual thing. I've got this photo on this massive wave. It's epic, and it's great. But to see what really goes behind anything like that, the support, the love of so many. So want to give thanks, of course, for everyone here. Kelly, you were here, dear friend. Chris Kuznar, seeing us through. Like parents, brothers, uncles, aunties is what I experienced here at IPFW. And it's really funny because when I started you know, reflecting to give this speech, and I'm thinking of who to give thanks to, and I start tracing back, and I'm like, the program, you know, the whole faculty, and then, wow, Coach Ball, you know, holding it down for so long, this program, and, you know, who came before him, and then, you know, even the settlers who came over here and came to this land, and then it's like even the indigenous before them, the people are here taking care of the land, and I'm seeing Fort Wayne in this whole new way, and then I'm even thinking like, wow, Mastodons roamed this land at one point. Like, what does that mean? There's some significance, there's some energy to that. And I look up Mastodons, and I'm a big fan of researching things. I teach myself a lot of things these days, and it kind of all comes back to the general studies degree that I earned here that kind of becomes it's been a joke in the volleyball lineage that you can get a general studies degree and go on to do anything you want in life. And I truly believe that that's true. So in the nature of my curiosity of life and continuing to learn, I look up Mastodons and learn some things that I knew. But I learned about some of their habits, and their habits were very interesting to me. And one of the things is that they travel in herds and their family. And they travel in packs of the women and the young, and sometimes a male will be with them, but then they also travel in packs of males of this brotherhood. And I saw this reflection of, you know, the brotherhood that is the alumni, the men's volleyball alumni that I just feel so connected to and taken care of. And then the family, you know, the women that support all the men in this community, and the children, and it's all for the children. And just to see the way that this community, that specifically the men's volleyball program, but this IPFW community in general, just, you know, looks after everybody, looks after family, looks after the kids who come here now. Already I see that the kids who are attending school are still kids, being 20, you know. I thought I was a man at that age, but, you know, we're all kids, really, all along learning. And that's what I really want to instill, remind today. My sister told me to make them cry, but Amanda already did that, and made me cry too, and brought it home to really the most important thing is, what are the moments that we cherish? What are the moments that matter? Because in the moments when we're considering our life, and our life is on the line, and many of us have had our brushes, if not close encounters, with death recently, and what matters the most is being here, being present with each other, with our families, with the kids. The way parents, I'm so in awe. I don't have any children, but just the way parents show up and take care of their kids and bring them to the practices and give all the opportunities, and it's amazing to me, and I was afforded that. So thank you, all of you, for taking care of each other, of me, and for allowing this opportunity just to be here, be with you all, and share my experience, my heart, and just want to remind you all that life is in each of us, you know. The one true one is in us all, and we're as young as our minds feel. So we always have life, continue learning, continue being present with your families and enjoying the moments, even this freezing cold weather. I love, it wakes me up when I get out there, right? So nice to feel refreshed and be here with you all. Thank you so much for this. What an honor. That's it. Thank you.
I know it was Jim Valvano who famously said that if in a day you can laugh, cry, and think, you've had a full day, and not even noon yet, and we've already checked all those boxes. So thank you for the enlightening words, CJ, and so glad that you've overcome that episode. And after flipping through the program earlier this morning and getting a paper cut, I'm just going to keep it to myself here at this point in light of that perspective. Thank you. If you haven't been able to figure it out yet, this is obviously a very busy time of year for Purdue Fort Wayne athletics. A lot going on campus, not to mention elsewhere too. And right now the track and field teams, they've been competing both in Grand Rapids and over at Kent State, and under the direction of Alex Carradine and his hardworking staff. Every time I look, it seems like another record is going down. Yesterday it was the men's 4x400 mark. And well, now, fittingly, speaking of record setters on the track and cross-country course, we have a very special pair of inductees today. Not just sisters, but twins. And so first from the class of 2010, Christol Martinez Reichert. Kristall here with her family today after she was named cross-country first team All-Summit League both in 2007 and 2008. Not to mention indoor track and field, first team All-Summit League in 08 and 09. And outdoor track and field All-Summit League as a sophomore, junior, and senior. In 2008, she finished second at the Summit League Cross-Country Championship and therefore qualified for the NCAA Championship. She helped the Dons to a Summit League cross-country team title in 2007 and was a runner-up finish at the next year's event. Kristall, who came here from across the state in Valparaiso, was also a national all-academic selection in 2008, just doing it all. So ladies and gentlemen, one of the best runners in Dons history, now a Hall of Famer. Let's hear it for Kristol Martinez Reichert.
First of all, I would like to congratulate all the Hall of Fame inductees. It is an honor to be here today with all of you. Thank you to the committee for nominating me among all these great athletes. I would like to thank God, my family, my husband, and my parents for all their support throughout my running career and for being here today. I would like to thank my parents for raising me to be the person I am today, and for your continuous support for continuously showing me how to work hard day in and day out and to strive to be my best in everything I do. You always supported my dreams and were proud of any and all of my accomplishments. I can't remember a cross-country or track event that you weren't in attendance, and that meant so much to me, and I'll always remember those memories that we've made together. I want to thank my husband, Brandon, who I met my freshman year on the cross-country team. From day one, my husband always believed in my dreams, and he's always been one of my greatest supporters. He recognized my potential and knew what I was capable of and did anything in his power to help me get to that next level. So thank you for always being there for me. I would also like to recognize my twin sister, Christina, who is also being inducted today. I had the privilege of going through this running journey with her by my side, and I couldn't imagine sharing it with anyone else. She's been my training partner for my whole life, and I know I wouldn't have been here without her just helping me reach my goals, and I'm so blessed that I'm able to have all those great memories with her and also share in today with her. Thank you to the IPFW, thank you to the cross-country and track programs, my coach and my teammates for giving me the opportunity to do something I love while continuing to get my education. This is a time in my life that I will cherish forever and never forget. I am so incredibly thankful to receive this honor and induction into the Sports Hall of Fame, and thank you so much.
And thank you so much, Kristall. And there is a precedent for some family members being together in the Mastodon Hall of Fame, but now extra special for not just sisters, but twins to be going in here in the same year. So next up, Christina Reidenauer, who was the Summit League Cross Country Athlete of the Week award winner 6 times in her career, including 5 times in 2008. And that still is atop the Summit League record book for most in a single season. That was highlighted in 2008 by winning the Summit League Athlete of the Year and Championship MVP after the team won the league title. Christina's performance to this day stands as the 6th fastest winning 6K time in Summit League history, and in 2009 she was the Summit League's 3,000 meter and 5K champion indoors, and then the Summit League 10,000 meter champion outdoors. Christina was also an All-Summit League selection for indoor track and fields in 2009 and outdoor track and fields in 2008 and again in 2010. Fortunately, Christina couldn't join us today, but she has also sent a video message. Let's hear it for Christina Reidenauer.
Hello. It is such an honor to be considered for this award today. Upon being notified, so many great memories were brought back to me as I reflected back at my time at IPFW over 10 years ago. From day one of me becoming a runner back in middle school, this sport has given me nothing but positive experiences and great memories. Even to this day at age 35, I'm still just as in love with this sport, currently training for my second marathon that I hope to complete in April. My time at IPFW brought me so many great experiences, many places traveled, and many friendships made, including meeting my now husband of 12 years, who is also an IPFW runner. Some top moments that come to mind when I reflect back at my time at IPFW is being able to win the Summit League championship with my team my junior year, and then being able to capture the individual title my senior year. All of these accomplishments would have not been possible without the help of all the athletic staff and coaches. I am forever grateful for all they have done for me and my teammates throughout the years. Thank you again for this recognition. It has been great to reflect back at my time at IPFW.
And really incredible, too, to see the Mastodon family, how it can last for more than just the 4 years on campus, but even a lifetime. Beautiful to see. Well, now our next inductee had already made a name for herself here in Fort Wayne before ever stepping foot on campus. Homestead High School grad Amy Wrecked Hanlon, a 2011 Mastodons alum, was an unbelievable, not one-time, not two-time, not three-time, but four-time Summit League Player of the Year. She never lost in Summit League play in her career, finishing an unreal 28-0, which is the most wins in Summit League history. Amy was an 11-time Summit League Player of the Week honoree, yet another achievement that stands at the top of the Summit League record book. She helped the Dons to league titles and NCAA tournament appearances in 2010 and again in 2011. She finished her career first in program history and overall wins, as well as singles wins and doubles wins. Since then, she's continued to dominate the local scene with multiple Fort Wayne city titles. Amy is also now married and a mother and a working professional here in Fort Wayne. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to the best women's tennis player in Mastodon's history, Hall of Famer Amy Wrecked Hanlon.
Thank you so much. I want to express my appreciation for being inducted into the Hall of Fame and congratulate all the new members that are here today. I'm truly humbled by this honor. I would not have had the career I achieved had it not been for my coach, Eric Burns, and all the teammates I played with in my 4 years of college. We had players from all over the world, and I got to experience different cultures, languages, and how things got done in different ways. We were able to travel all around the country to places I had never been to before, like Niagara Falls, Sioux Falls, Las Vegas, Tulsa, and Kansas City, and to the team homes of Notre Dame, Michigan State, and Northwestern, and more. Something not many student athletes can say is that their dad helped coach during their college career. But I had the privilege of playing throughout college with my dad as an assistant coach. He instilled the love of tennis in my brother Ryan and me, and was our teacher and coach from the time we were 6 years old. Having him be a part of my college career will forever be one of my fondest memories. I want to thank my mom for always supporting me on and off the court. She came to all of my matches, but never really saw any of my matches. She was too nervous to watch. But I now understand the feeling she had because I now am a mom myself. I'm happily married and have 2 children, a 21-month-old boy and a 5-month-old girl. I'm in the real estate business with my dad, and I hope to instill in my children the love of tennis that I have. It saddens me to think that none of my accomplishments will be challenged. Records are meant to be broken, but mine will not unless tennis comes back to PFW someday. Thanks again for the honor of being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Amy. One more note on the contemporary here. The final spring sport to really ramp up will be the baseball team. Next Friday, they're going down to Atlanta to take on Georgia State. So good luck to Coach Schreiber and his guys. And of course, Doug, he came here after previously being the head coach for the Boilermakers at Purdue, and he just missed the chance to coach our next Hall of Famer, who began his career in West Lafayette before transferring back home. So last but not least, just alphabetical, at the back end of this ceremony, backstop from the class of 2001, Brad Smock, who was a catcher for the Mastodons during their final seasons as a Division II member. A local product out of Carroll, he's got his name all over the Dons record book. He ranks 4th in runs scored, 5th in hits, 5th in total bases, 6th in career starts, 7th in doubles, 8th in RBIs, and 10th in walks. And really, that doesn't even factor in at all his actual value defensively and handling the pitching staff. So not surprisingly, Brad earned all Great Lakes Valley Conference honors in 1999. I know he's still active in the local baseball community today as a coach, while also working as a financial advisor here in town at Howard Bailey Financial. Please put your hands together for Mastodon Hall of Famer Brad Smock.
First off, I would like to thank Kelly, our awesome athletic director, and the Hall of Fame committee for nominating me to be a part of to be inducted into the Purdue Hall of Fame. It's such an honor to be inducted alongside of Courtney and Amanda and CJ, Kristol and Christina and Amy. It's unbelievable. So thank you, and thank you to the committee. Really special. As John said, I started my career at Purdue in West Lafayette, and it's funny how life comes at you. But as I moved back here to play closer to home, I knew that there was a big name coming into Purdue at that time. Coach Schreiber, who's here today, and we were talking out here earlier a little bit ago. And I missed playing for Coach by a few months to come back here and play for arguably the best coach I've ever had in my life, which is Coach Tony Vittorio. Some may still remember that name, right? So it's just so cool to be here with you, Coach, and to get a chance to meet you today. And from what I've heard and from what I know of Coach Schreiber, that the baseball program's in really, really good hands. So we're glad to have you here, Coach. I often get asked, if I regret moving back to Fort Wayne to play here close to home, and my answer is always emphatically no, because this is where my whole life began as I know it. Here is where the game of baseball helped reiterate many of the ever so important life skills that really made me who I am today. And I say reiterate because I learned many of these life skills in my earlier years from my dad. Now, unfortunately, some of these didn't really kick in until I was in my college career when I thought I had it all figured out. But college sports makes you figure this stuff out really, really fast. So, Dad, you were right all along, and I can't thank you enough for preparing me for life like you have. To my boys Cooper and Cohen, there's a lesson here. Dads are always right. So don't forget it. How to be a great teammate. Having respect for others, communication skills, the importance of being coachable. Leadership, hard work. Early mornings, late nights, relentlessly working to be the best versions of ourselves. How to handle failure. Selflessness, and how to be a fierce competitor, just to name a few. I truly believe that sports, and specifically being a collegiate athlete, has taught me some of life's most valuable lessons. And looking back, I believe that my experience here at Purdue Fort Wayne as a student athlete is where I found my true purpose and my true passion, which is helping our youth prepare for high school, college, and life. And I actually have some of my players here today, which is so cool, and I'm so humbled by that, and including my two boys here, Cooper and Cohen. But many of these kids I've coached since they were 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. And here we are 2 years away from some of them being freshmen in high school. And I can't, I want to tell them this is the reason that I do what I do. is to not only help you to prepare to achieve your goals as being a player and a person, but to be ready for high school. And hopefully, at some point, college is in your future. But more importantly, I want to help prepare you for the real game. And that starts when your playing days are over. You think going 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts is tough. Just wait. It gets harder. I remember calling my dad from the road so many times in college, just saying, like, what am I doing? I mean, I'm 0 for 20. Why am I doing? What am I doing wrong? And looking for that easy answer that's going to just turn me around in a second. And as I look back to that, and I think of the answers that I received back then, and they were always very, very simple. Trust yourself. Have confidence. It's going to be okay. And tomorrow's a new day. And so I look back at those 0 for 20 slumps, and it seemed like the absolute end of the world back then. But as you get older and really look at the big picture, that 0 for 20 was just getting me closer to going 15 for my next 20. And Steve Springer, one of the coach, Shriver may has heard of him before, but he's a scout for, I think it's the Toronto Blue Jays now, and it's big in the mental game of baseball, and says, if you don't go 0 for 20 times in your career, you just haven't played long enough. So things are not always going to be easy. These slumps resemble life. We're going to be giving our best effort. We're still going to experience failure. But in the end, all those failures made me a better player and a better person. My goal for all of you, Cooper, Gibson, Max, Rhett, Cohen, Nash, and Hudson, is that you will all be well prepared to handle the adversity that is thrown your way. And in my opinion, there's no better teacher than this game that we all love. My hope is that I can continue to motivate all of you to be your very best and to continue to be a small part in your overall development as players and people. And hopefully one day that we can gather here again, someday watching some of you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. The passion and dedication I have for coaching these kids started here 24 years ago. Here's where I met my wife, Angie. We were in a computer class together. Why is that funny? And I asked Angie for some help, on some of my homework. And if there's one thing that my boys can learn from me in there, that you can do better than that. Like that was pretty embarrassing, and I apologize. But I often look back at that and say, I wonder what if that wouldn't have happened. Would I have the family that I have today, and that I wouldn't trade for the world? Angie's always been one of my biggest fans, and hopefully that's still true today. I hope. She's always been a huge support beam for me, and that's starting back into my college days and driving around watching me play, and her and Sharon, my mother-in-law, driving down to Florida to watch us play, and was always encouraging, and still is. I would like to give special thanks to my high school coach, Coach Chris Adams, for making sure that I was prepared for college baseball lifestyle and how to compete at that level. To Coach Vittorio, even though that our time was cut short, the life lessons I learned from you are priceless. Since this is where our family started, and it's only fitting that we have some of our closest family and friends here today with us to share the special memory. To the Bushies, Warners, Holzingers, thanks for allowing me to share my passion of baseball with your boys. And thanks for being a big part of our lives. To Jerry and Sharon, thank you for all your support over the years. To my dad, none of this is ever possible without you, constantly pushing me to strive for greatness. To Angie, Cooper, and Cohen, thank you for always allowing me to follow my passion of coaching in my spare time, even though Cooper and Cohen may wish at times that they had a different coach. You'll have that soon enough. I can only hope that I can teach you many of these life lessons that I've learned along the way here at Purdue Fort Wayne, so you can go out and accomplish anything that you want to do. I couldn't be more proud that our life together started here at Purdue Fort Wayne. Mastodon for life. Thank you.